Have you ever walked into someone's house and instantly noticed how everything is perfectly clean, every surface shining, everything carefully placed, and wondered how someone can actually maintain that level of order every single day? Because for most people, cleaning feels like a task they delay, avoid, or only do when necessary. But for some individuals, it is a daily habit, almost effortless, almost automatic. And the truth is, this behavior is not random at all. It is deeply connected to psychology, and it reveals something powerful about how a person thinks, how they manage their emotions, and how they interact with the world around them. Cleaning is not just about removing dust or making a space look nice. It is a behavior strongly tied to the human need for control. Because life itself is unpredictable, messy, and often overwhelming. And when people feel that lack of control in their external life, they naturally try to create order in their immediate environment. So when someone cleans their home every day, they are not just organizing objects, they are creating a space where things make sense, where outcomes are predictable, and where they feel grounded. And this simple act can have a calming effect on the brain, reducing stress and creating a sense of stability that carries into other parts of life. At the same time, a clean environment has a direct impact on mental clarity, because the human brain is highly sensitive to its surroundings. And when there is clutter, the brain has to process more visual information, more distractions, more unfinished signals, which can increase cognitive load and reduce focus. But when the environment is clean and organized, the brain can relax, think more clearly, and focus on what truly matters. Which is why many people who maintain clean spaces report feeling more productive, more motivated, and less overwhelmed, because their external environment is supporting their internal state rather than working against it. Another key psychological factor behind daily cleaning is discipline, because maintaining a clean home is not something that depends on motivation, it depends on consistency. And people who clean every day often build strong routines that make the behavior automatic. They do not wait until things get messy. They clean as they go. They maintain rather than repair. And this mindset reflects a deeper level of self-discipline that often shows up in other areas of their life, such as their work ethic, their health habits, and their long-term goals. Because once a person learns to be consistent in small daily actions, it becomes easier to stay consistent in bigger responsibilities. However, there is also a deeper and more complex side to this behavior. Because for some individuals, cleaning is not just about discipline or clarity, it is also a way to cope with internal discomfort. When someone feels anxious, stressed, or emotionally unsettled, they may turn to cleaning as a way to regain a sense of control, because it is easier to organize a room than to organize your thoughts. And in these moments, cleaning becomes a coping mechanism, something that provides immediate relief, a visible result, and a sense of accomplishment, even if the underlying emotional issues are still present beneath the surface. This is where the line between healthy and unhealthy behavior can start to blur, because while cleaning can be a positive and beneficial habit, it can also become excessive if it is driven by anxiety rather than intention. And in some cases, people may feel uncomfortable or even distressed if their environment is not perfectly clean, which can turn a helpful habit into a source of pressure. And this is often linked to perfectionism, where a person sets extremely high standards for themselves and feels dissatisfied unless everything meets those standards, leading to a constant cycle of effort without a true sense of completion. Perfectionism in cleaning is not always obvious, because from the outside, it may look like discipline or attention to detail, but internally, it can feel like a constant need to fix, adjust, and improve, where nothing ever feels good enough. And this can create stress rather than reduce it, because instead of cleaning being a supportive habit, it becomes a requirement for feeling okay. And this is why understanding the intention behind the behavior is so important, because the same action can come from very different psychological motivations. On the other hand, for many people who clean daily in a healthy way, the behavior is strongly connected to self-respect and identity, because they see their environment as a reflection of who they are. They believe that maintaining a clean and organized space is a way of taking care of themselves, and over time, this belief becomes part of their identity. They are not just someone who cleans, they are someone who values order, clarity, and responsibility. And this identity reinforces the habit, making it feel natural rather than forced because it aligns with how they see themselves. There is also a strong link between cleanliness and productivity, because when your environment is organized, your brain can operate more efficiently, without the constant interruptions caused by clutter and disorganization, allowing you to focus more deeply, make decisions more easily, and complete tasks more effectively. And this is why many high-performing individuals pay close attention to their surroundings, not because they are obsessed with cleanliness, but because they understand that environment plays a crucial role in performance, and even small improvements in organization can lead to noticeable improvements in focus and output. Cleaning can also serve as a powerful emotional reset, because engaging in a simple, physical, and repetitive activity can help calm the mind, reduce overthinking, and create a sense of progress, especially during times when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. And even though cleaning does not solve deeper problems, it creates a small sense of achievement, a visible change, and a feeling that something has been improved, which can be enough to shift a person's mood and help them regain a sense of control and direction. But it is important to recognize that cleaning every day is not automatically a sign of a healthy mindset, because the key factor is not how often someone cleans, but why they do it. When cleaning is driven by a desire for clarity, comfort, and well-being, it is a positive and beneficial habit. But when it is driven by fear, anxiety, or the need to control every detail, it can become restrictive and stressful. And in extreme cases, it may even develop into compulsive behavior, where the person feels unable to relax unless everything is perfectly arranged. This is why balance is essential, because the most psychologically healthy individuals do not aim for perfection, they aim for functionality. They keep their environment clean enough to support their life, but they do not let it control their emotions. They understand that a little mess is a natural part of living, and that true peace comes from within, not from having everything perfectly in place. And this balanced approach allows them to enjoy the benefits of cleanliness without experiencing the downsides of obsession or pressure. So the next time you see someone who keeps their house clean every single day, remember that you are not just looking at a habit. You are seeing a reflection of their mindset, their relationship with control, their level of discipline, their way of handling stress, and even their sense of identity. And if you pay attention, you might start to recognize some of these patterns in yourself, because cleaning is something almost everyone does, but the reasons behind it can be very different from person to person. And maybe the most important question to ask yourself is not whether you clean every day or not, but why you do it when you do. Is it because you want clarity? Because you need control? Because it helps you feel better? Or because it has simply become part of who you are? Because understanding the reason behind your habits can reveal deeper truths about your personality, your emotions, and your mindset. And once you become aware of that, you gain the ability to shape your habits in a way that truly supports your well-being. So if you want to understand more about how your mind works, how everyday behaviors are connected to deeper psychological patterns, and how small habits can reveal big truths about who you are, make sure to subscribe to Psychology Explained. Because sometimes the simplest actions, like cleaning your room, can tell you more about yourself than you ever expected.